Greetings, my self-compassionistas. Welcome to this week's Spellings Recap. We are in week 6, recapping week 5 of spellings. And last week's word was a pretty fun and powerful word. It was purpose. And it comes from Latin per, which means put forth or forth, and poser, Old French, which means put in place. And so I couldn't help but think that a lot of people, when I work with my clients, they want to find their purpose. They want to do their purpose. But not everyone speaks about being in their purpose, because when you think about the second part of the word, which is to put in place, it's a sense of a place where you are, a place of being and a sense of being, a sense of belonging. So I think what comes up for me is that a lot of people feel, when they're feeling on purpose, they're feeling displaced, like they're not in the place they're supposed to be. And so in this past week's Wednesday Insta Coaching, we had a lot of really great feedback from participants. And so I am doing this recap with the 3 top tips that we came out of that session with. The first tip is alignment. So alignment is align, everything being put together, the line formation where everything is just in flow. And what one of our participants said is that alignment is really being in a state of joy, being in a state of seeing things and feeling things, not spiritually bypassing, but being in a state of joy so that you can accept where you are. So you can accept the place that you are at, put forth in place, and be happy with where you are so that you can enjoy the ride of finding the place where you belong, of being put in the place where you belong. A lot of us are not enjoying the ride that's life. And so when you get into alignment with joy and the things that bring you joy and the things that you like, you begin to get into the place that you belong. You get put in your place because you're enjoying the ride and it's just flowing. So tip number 2 is listening to your intuition. One of our participants was like, the way I figured out my purpose was listening to my intuition. And so intuition for a lot of people could be listening to yourself or listening to a higher power. But either way, it starts with you being connected to yourself. So one is being in alignment, and connected to joy. The second is being really connected to yourself so that you can receive the messages, whether it's your intuitive hits or from yourself or from any spiritual guidance that you believe in. But if you are not listening to yourself, you cannot go through the path that will take you to be put in your place, right? And so I really liked that tip from one of our audience members. And the last one was surrender. And for me, that's a big one, because a lot of my clients, they come to coaching because they want to control all the outcomes. And it is not until you surrender, you release control of the outcomes, that things start to happen for us. And so I really loved that particular tip from an audience member, because that has been really a miraculous word and force for me this year. The more I surrendered, the more miracles came through. So I ask you to consider, if you're feeling displaced, because if purpose means being put into a place or bring forth a place that you belong, then not feeling in your purpose or not being in your purpose is a sense of displacement. So I ask you, where in your life do you feel displaced? And what are the ways of being that keep you from feeling in your purpose or being in your purpose? Because it's our responsibility. It's not the responsibility of outside anythings to get us to our purpose. We're the ones who have to get ourselves to our purpose. And it's our responsibility to understand, where are we feeling displaced? What are we not being in order to get there? And then creating the action. That's when the doing action steps comes into place. But first you have to understand, why are you feeling displaced? What are you being to not get to that feeling of being in your place? So hopefully these tips serve you. Also, my Friday quick pop-in that I did, I suggested essential oils. I love working with metaphysical tools, and one of my favorites are essential oils, because therapeutic grade essential oils actually raise your vibrational frequency. And so I recommended an oil by Young Living called Magnify Your Purpose. And the reason I loved recommending this one is because if we think of purpose as a place, being put into a place, and pardon me as I am preparing to get a camera for next week, magnifying your purpose, actually think about how when we're not in our purpose, we're feeling displaced. A lot of my non-purpose finding clients, they feel stuck in a box or like in a place that they can't move out of. And so the idea of magnifying, making bigger the place where you are, allows opportunities to flow. And so it raises a vibrational frequency for you to amplify where you are to find your place within this space in the universe. And I'll be dropping the link in the blog for you to purchase that if you are interested. As always, if you have any questions or if you have any comments, drop them in the comment section below. Check out the blog, sign up for the mailing list so you can get these recaps if you're not already getting the recaps on a weekly basis. And find me on Instagram, because that's where I do the Insta coaching and that's where the magic happens. I don't record them because Instagram doesn't always let me do it and my phone capacity doesn't always have the ability to do that, but let us connect on Instagram. Oh, and there's my friend's puppy. It is time for my morning walk and I leave you with this recap. I hope it is of service. I'd love to hear back from you if you have any questions as always, and wishing you a wonderful week, everybody.